Every week read the minutes I send out in that email. Were there any changes or corrections or additions or anything? Is there a motion to approve the minutes? So moved by Matt, second. Mona?
Yes.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Our August meeting minutes are adopted. All right, I got a few announcements first. National Night Out. Our neighbor's National Night Out, we actually moved it this year, which I think is a great idea for a couple reasons. One, because when you do it the regular date, everybody else is doing it at the same time, and then the city leaders all can't get to your show or to your event. Also, doing it on October 1st in Columbia is fantastic weather-wise compared to August. So I love that we moved this to October 1st. That is Pat, is that a Monday?
That's a Tuesday.
A Tuesday, I think. First Tuesday of the month. So Tuesday, October 1st at 6 o'clock, the Leroy Moss Multi-Purpose Center at Hyatt Park. Pat's done a great job of getting that all organized, and we'll save that discussion, Pat, about in your committee report for later. But please come to National Night Out. If you haven't volunteered yet, please see Pat about volunteering. That's always a great event. A lot of folks that we don't normally see at the community meetings come to National Night Out, and I think it's a great way for us to all meet some of our neighbors that we don't see on a regular basis. Especially folks with kids. A lot of people with kids don't seem to make it to the neighborhood meetings, which for obvious reasons, on Monday nights, and a lot of our parents come to the National Night Out, so I think that's a great way to meet them. All right, the now I guess third annual. This is the third time we've done this. Tricks No Treats event that Andrea Waters puts on over on Summerlee. That will be Sunday, October 20th, from 2 to 4 p.m. And importantly, if you live over on that side of the neighborhood, Summerlee Drive from Avondale to Abingdon will be closed for the hours around that event, so roughly from noon to 5. Local traffic can get in. If you live on that street, you can still get into your house today. You'll be able to get to your house still. You're just going to drive around a barrier to do it. So just kind of know that that's happening, and know that there'll be a lot of pedestrians on the street during that time in that area. If you still like to sign up to be a host house, it's not actually at your house. It's in front of houses, and if you don't live on that street, you can still host by setting up a table with treats or whatever you want to hand out. If you don't have our contact information, or if you're not on Facebook, I'll get you in contact with Andrea Waters, and she'll sign you up. Myself and Elizabeth Weber did it last year. We don't live on the street. We set a table up in front of somebody's house. We had a great time. So it's a fun event. The neighbors over there really get into it and do a lot of fun things. Ice cream stations, face painting, music. They decorate their yards like crazy. Their dogs are dressed up. Their kids are dressed up, and everybody has a great time. So that is Treats No Tricks, and that's on October 20th. Any question about those two events? Two big October events. The next announcement is about, and this is just a few different things. I put it down as a construction updates. I will admit I'm a little fed up with the city and the amount of communication we've had with them about, they've closed Mountain Drive, or at least the entrance to Mountain Drive, for 2 years, and they didn't warn us whatsoever that was going to happen. It just happened one day. That is to what I told you about the last meeting or two. There's some work being done at the old Eau Claire water treatment plant off of Mountain Drive, which is back there in the woods. There's no road access to it currently. I don't know why they didn't close the road down. I haven't heard from anybody. I'm still trying to figure that out. So I'm trying to get some information about what they're doing. I did ask about the project originally, and they told me it would be they'd be doing work, back there, paving the road back to that area, and then working on the water treatment equipment and all that. But they didn't say anything about closing the road, so we have to figure out what's going on there. I'm still trying to get an update from the folks about Sunset Drive. Probably like y'all, was anybody else warned that they would shut it down a second time and close it? Oh, you were?
They said they're gonna do that. They posted something somewhere, I remember seeing.
Well, they put a sign out on the road at some point, and just said, "Oh, by the way, it's gonna be closed." And no communication with us, though. I haven't heard from them. I'm still trying to figure out who's the person I'm supposed to speak to about that. I'd like to know how long that's gonna be going on. And I don't know if some of y'all are confused. I'm a little confused. I've been driving down that road. I've been going past those barriers because it says it's closed for anyone but local traffic. I've never seen anybody get pulled over for that or anything, but I still feel like they should let us know if that's okay. And then same thing on Abingdon Road. I did get an update on that. Abingdon Road, what happened there, and I haven't got a complete picture, so I wish we had city leaders here, somebody that could help us walk through it, but on Abington Road, DOT, after our pleading for many years, has finally said they're gonna pave the road. So they started paving the road. You saw they stripped the side roads and they started paving some of those. Then for some reason realized that the city of Columbia had a project on Stedman Road. Is that the correct name of it? Sorry, it's a little further up this way, up more towards the lakeside area. They're doing a water project along Abington up there. And they told me that because of that, they wouldn't be able to do any of the paving and finish the paving until City of Columbia completes that project. City of Columbia in turn doesn't know when they're gonna have that project completed. So then I went back to the DOT and I asked them, well, what do y'all know about that? And they said, okay, well, we're gonna actually go back and do Abington Road from Sunset to, I can't remember which road, somewhere up towards Duke or maybe a little higher first, and then once the City of Columbia is done with the water project further north, then they'll go and complete that part. I don't have a timeline on that, I don't think either of them do. I wish we had Tina Herbert here or Oddity or somebody that could maybe walk us through that, what's going on, but
Wasn't there also some discussion about the ongoing leaks on Abington towards Sunset and elsewhere? You know, like,
yes,
it'd be really nice if.
that's actually true.
Come and dig it up right after it was paved.
That's a good point, I forgot about that. So I don't know if y'all see too on Abington, around, I don't know, Courtright maybe, they've like dug a hole and now there's just half the road's blocked. I actually don't know what that's about.
Yeah, I
They
just
didn't-
Courtright and Johnson.
Yeah,
That's what Courtright, exactly.
I need to figure that out too.
Driving up here today, the hole's been filled in,
Oh, okay.
and so my guess is that they'll probably let the gravel settle for a little while before they pave it, but it looks like it'll be done
Fix
soon.
the leak that's down towards Sunset?
Did they ever fix
That
the
one,
leak
I
right
know.
there?
Who knows?
Yeah.
DOT did not say anything about them waiting to fix leaks on Abington before they paved. They just said
Right.
it's this, and maybe I got the name of it wrong. So I put that on Facebook. Does anyone remember the name of that road? They said they were, yeah, I'd actually never heard of it, to be honest. And I think it may be so far up, it may be kind of out of our neighborhood.
Well, you
technically.
know, they're working on Abington and Eunice, right up in that area with the water. They've been digging up there with the water. So they just about finished digging with the water. They just
Okay.
got to pave it now. So I guess the city gets through digging holes with the water line, and they were doing water lines up in there.
All right, this is what I got from the DOT last week. They said they will skip, it's Stedham Road,
They don't know.
which I don't know where that is. I looked for it, I couldn't find it. So the contractors tentatively plan to start paving Abington next week. That was last week, so it's Monday, we'll see what happens. And the city of Columbia will be responsible for paving the Stedham Road intersection after that's complete, so we'll see where that goes. I'll try to get more answers, but that's my update about those projects. Apologize, I don't have more information. I'm not getting a lot of communication from the city about it. And I've emailed, and if y'all know a person to email, I've emailed our city council members, the head of the streets division, the head of the utilities division, and I have not received responses. So that's been a few weeks. So I've emailed multiple times. So that's where we are. All right. Any other announcements, kind of for the good of the order? Yeah, Captain Austin.
Columbia Fire Department.
Yeah.
Read.
Yeah, come on up.
Good evening. Like, quick, won't hold you long. But on behalf of the Columbia Fire Department Chief Jenkins, we'd like to invite the Hyatt Park, Keenan Terrace community to join us to celebrate Fire Prevention Week with our annual Fire Prevention Parade on Thursday, October 3rd at 11 o'clock a.m. And the purpose of this event is to bring awareness to this year's Fire Prevention Week campaign, Smoke Alarms, Make Them Work For You. And parade participants should arrive no later than 9:30 at Christ Central Institute, located at 2025 Main Street, Columbia, South Carolina, 29201. The parade begins at Laurel and Main and travel down Main Street, ending at Jervis Street. And all participants will enter the staging area from Sumter Street to Calhoun. There'll be games, food, and drinks after the parade headquarters at 1800 Laurel Street. This is a moment of celebrating Fire Prevention Week and interact with friends and family. This event is always so special to the fire department, and your presence is highly valued. So we just want to invite you out October the 3rd. Please participate with us in the annual fire prevention parade. Usually take place on the weekends. We move it back during the week this year. Try to get more participation. Like I said, we end up at headquarters, meeting the fire chief and some more officials from the city and county, and participating in some games with food.
Okay, October 3rd, what time was that?
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
Yes, sir. Arriving no later than 9:30 at Christ Central, right there on Main Street. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's jump into our officer and committee reports. Got a treasurer's report from, Elizabeth. She said our current bank balance is $6,857.35. The income was from membership dues, that was $20, and a grant check, that was $2,500. No expenses so far this month. And let's jump to Mimi. Any questions about our treasurer's report?
What was the amount again?
It was the total, $6,857.35. So we are swimming in cash compared to our budget previously, but we have a lot of grants, so that money is slated to things. Although we are actually in pretty good shape, honestly, our budget, we don't actually make a budget, we just have a bank account, and we just kind of spend it as we come up with things. But we have been, getting a lot more membership dues this year. I don't know, Bob, I don't know if you've looked at it lately, I actually haven't, I need to, maybe around the end of this year, get a sense. By taking online payments now, we've substantially increased our membership numbers. Maybe not our participation, because it looks like the same crowd that's always here, and I thank y'all for all coming. But, you know, just folks are willing to at least pay in when you make it easy to pay. And so we're getting a lot of little $12, $20 checks here and there to, you know, transfers to our bank directly for people with bank accounts electronically. And that's really bolstering our membership numbers and the membership dues that are coming in. So, this is not an organization that's run totally by the president and the executive. If anybody has any ideas about how we can use some of our, surplus cash, if there's a good neighborhood project out there we can, spend some money on, I'm all ears for new ideas. So if y'all can think of anything, we have some cash sitting out there. Pat?
I was thinking when we have new members coming in the neighborhood, we should have little packages just to give to them and say this from the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Association.
Okay.
Welcome wagon. Welcome wagon.
Yes, that's something Basil wanted a long time ago.
All right, yeah, that's something we should get working on. Would you like to head that up?
That was easy, they got no Basil with it.
Okay, we'll ask Basil next time. Or Albert, can you volunteer Basil that he's the head of the steering committee now? Okay, thank you. All right, the membership committee report, that is from Mimi, who is also able to be here. Well, she told me she has a holiday party sign up, but I don't think I've seen it. Has anybody else? A holiday party sign up?
Where?
It's not up as of yet.
Oh, not yet, okay. She did submit our grant, our city grant application for beautification items, including signs, the community garden, and an outreach party. We've been very good at getting those grants. Trust Mimi did a good job, and we'll get those awarded too, because we always have. I'll let y'all know when we know whether we got it.
Would that be to replace the sign that we lost?
No, I believe that's for more neighborhood signs, I believe.
Okay.
But I'll have to clarify with her actually. So, admittedly, I wasn't. One of the things Mimi's been great about is I told her this time when I was going to be president again that I could use her help in just essentially doing the grants, making it like Mimi's she has like 3 things she's like taking care of, and one of them is grants. So I really just kind of give her carte blanche to just take care of that. That really saves me a lot of time. It's very helpful. So I'll have to direct those questions to Mimi. Any questions about the membership committee report?
I just had a question. We were talking about grants. Does the 501c3 designation, does that just go on?
Yeah, it doesn't take any kind of reapplication or anything, as far as I know, every year.
You have to submit a report each year, but because we're such a small organization, if you don't go over $50,000 in receipts every year, it's basically a postcard. You send in and say, we still exist, and
Yeah.
that does it. It gets a
Similar to
little
our-
more complicated if you start having more money income, but for now, it's really very perfunctory.
Well, we never know when somebody's got some kind of grant, and being able to accept it in our own name
Right.
is, prepared.
Yeah, so if y'all have thoughts about, you know, ways we can get grants we can go after, you know, the 501c, we had this problem before when let's see, was it the, who did we partner with to do the, community garden?
Earlwood.
Yeah, Earlwood, so we had Betsy had this great idea to create the community garden, which always, or the, pollinator garden, which always turned out wonderful, but the hoops we had to jump through to, to get Earlwood to sponsor us, to do it, because they were the 501c3, so we've gotten that figured out, thankfully, and Elizabeth is keeping us up to date with the Secretary of State and the IRS, it sounds like, by keeping our certifications up, so. It's not a report per se, but one item out of the membership committee is, it's about time for another porch party, even though I know we have a few community events coming up, but, you know, porch party is a little different than the National Night Out and, the trick or treat thing, so I was thinking maybe the last week of September, would anybody like to host a neighborhood porch party? If nobody wants to host, I'm happy to do it myself. Not to give away my leverage.
I need to check.
Yeah. All right, well, it looks like I'll host one, that's fine. But I'm taking myself off duty for the holiday party, I'm gonna tell you that. Oh, well, I'm not here the last week of September.
Yeah.
Okay.
September kind of jammed.
It's kind of jammed up, isn't it? Well, we have National Night Out on the 2nd, October 2nd. So how about October 10th? Would that be a good night, for a porch party?
Excuse me, National Night Out is never on the second, it's always the first Tuesday in August and the first Tuesday in October.
Sorry, you're right, I said it wrong earlier too, October 1st. So October 10th, that'd be the next week on a Thursday. Any objections to that as a porch party date? I'm penciling it in, I'll
You do it, Ty?
host it,
Well, if you're doing it, any day's good.
yeah. Right.
We'll come any day.
Yeah, well, it looks like I'm free that day, so that, we'll call it, you know, 6 to 9 like usual, or so, maybe 6 to 8. And, yeah, all right. I'll send out the, information about that as we get closer. So. All right, that is, it looks like we have the city here, so let's cut in and, the city officer, would like to come, give an update.
Yes. Good evening, sorry I'm late. Got like 4 meetings tonight, so I'm trying to make all of them. But y'all, for those who don't know me, I'm Captain Hicks, I'm the North Region, Commander. Let's see, looked like you had a discharge into a dwelling that was on Fallen Springs. Called down to the department, it was, unoccupied. On Palmetto Avenue, you had a unknown subject through a break through the windshield of a resident's vehicle. The 3400 block. A couple of shot spot alerts up on the upper end of 4100 block, 4800 block of Ridgewood, and we had one at the 100 block of Duke Avenue. I have tasked the units in this area to do some enforcement on Duke Avenue as far as the parking. Got some complaints about it. I think you guys probably seeing a little different when they're not parking on that sidewalk. I did check with our traffic guy that with that solid line, that little bit of space between the solid line and the sidewalk, they can park there, but the tires do not need to be on the sidewalk. The ones at the 100 block of Duke Avenue with that tow truck, I'm dealing with them and code enforcement because they got some other violations. So hopefully within the next couple of days, maybe a week or so, we'll have that issue resolved. I do want to report the crime stats for the region. We're down 18% in violent crimes. We're down 15% in property crimes, and as total crime, we're down 16% in the North region, which puts us in the red, which is a really good thing. I'm very proud of these officers that are out here. I know you don't see them much, And we were trying to figure out how did the call volume go so high, so quick with this, but it's because of cell phones. You know, when I started back in '91, everybody had to go home and use a landline to call the police or dial 911. Now we're pretty much getting everything, you know, live. And with cell phones, somebody could be on 77 and going toward Winsboro, but they signal pick up with the city of Columbia's one of the towers here. So that'll put us in the area, because if it comes in the dispatch center, they're going to dispatch it out. So that's going to take the officer to that area. So, I mean, that's just the way the cell phone companies work. But the call volume for the North region is about 5,200 calls a month. And for our crime stats to be as low as they are, we're out here putting in some really, really, really good work. So, but if you have any questions or concerns for me? Yes, ma'am.
What happened right there on the corner of Lakeside and Duke and Ridgewood Avenue?
That was a domestic situation, and
There was about 30 cars there.
yeah, so that was a domestic situation, and when the officer, arrived on scene, the guy retreated back in the house, and had weapons in the house, so we had to make entry. And once we got in there, because the officer by himself, he actually went out the back door, but we got him 2 days later. Yes, sir.
Two things. One is, we've had some issues at Hyde Park. I was wondering if there's been any increased police, presence at Hyde Park.
I've talked with their new director, their interim director, wasn't it Kenya?
Kenya.
Yeah, I talked to him Thursday, yeah, about the increase. Also, we're looking at the 1100 block of Scott Street. There's a business there, it's supposed to be a beauty spa that offer massages, but we're looking into that. So we're definitely looking into it, because I ride by there on a daily basis, and they're never open in the daytime, but I'm hearing that they're opening at night.
Where is Scott Street?
Right there, the light right past Hyde Park.
No.
Miller, I'm sorry, Miller, not Scott, Miller. I got something else on my mind, it's Miller Street, sorry. Scott Street is beside Jim Cadillac. Had an incident there, that's why it's on my mind, but it's Miller Street.
It's the second, it's the building on the left when you go down?
Yes, at the dead end. Yes. Yeah, with the park, with the little gravel lot beside it, yes. It's a house. So we're looking into that, and I also have, since they say they give massages, I have contact with the state massage inspector. But we're trying to figure out exactly what we have, because, I mean, we in law enforcement know that those places can be a haven for sex trafficking. Not saying they're doing anything wrong, but it looks, they're not on a beating path. Back in the dead end street, I just don't think that's a good place to have a good place to go and get a massage. But we're looking at it.
Sorry, can I go back to the Hyde Park? So, what, you had a conversation with me, Ryan, what was the result of that conversation? You're not taking any action?
Yeah, so we're doing, he asked for more patrol and keeping people out of the park, doing the hours of darkness.
Jamaica, did you hear that?
Yeah, he asked for more patrol and keeping people out of the park during the hours of darkness.
Yeah, especially when we get ready to leave, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
They're out there, and it's dark, so they're supposed to be giving me some lights, because I was complaining about the lighting, it's very dark on that back.
So park and records go try to put more lights up?
I don't know, but that was one of the concerns when I called in about the vandalism on the backside of the building. One of your officers complained about, it's very dark on that backside of the pavilion, which it is, there's no light back there. They even have like, where the pavilion, they have this little hole thing that the homeless be sleeping in that little hole thing, but it's dark back there, so they're supposed to do a light study, that's what they told me. I don't know, have that taken
Yeah,
place.
if they do put up lighting, I suggest the LED lighting, just because it's a lot brighter and low maintenance versus a light bulb, it'll last a lot longer through the weather and everything. So if you do get them, but I'll talk with Katie about the lighting.
Okay.
We could actually do a survey on the park itself. We have one of our crime prevention guys, and he'll say, well, all the lights need to go. I know back, as you go down the backside, What's that, Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jackson Avenue.
And Lamar.
Yeah, Lamar, you don't wanna mess with, you don't wanna shine lights toward your house.
Warren Court right.
Okay, yeah, because we don't wanna put lights where it's gonna shine on the residents, we want all the lights to shine toward the park. But I can get that, I'll have him get in touch with Kenyon,
Okay.
and he can probably do all the parks,
Okay.
not just Hyatt Park, but that'll be the
Yeah.
first one since we get it.
Because if there's anyone in the neighborhood that really needs to be a haven that's safe and all that, it really should be the park, and we've had some issues lately, and that's the worst place I feel like to have, you know,
Yeah.
problems, and is where all the kids are, so.
Yeah.
you know.
Yes, sir.
So you're supportive of the park being fenced?
I don't know about fencing and, I'm not gonna say no, I'm not gonna say yes. I mean, we don't have any parks that are fenced.
And none of them run off of Main Street either.
I'm not saying completely fenced, but I'm saying that people can't run through the park.
And run on the Main Street.
If you have a crime happen on Lamar Street, they'd run right across North Main and disappear into another neighborhood. That's a problem.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of parks that are fenced, maybe, but most parks are on major highways, this one's right on top of the road, so that's our issue.
Yeah, I mean, if we have a crime that happens, somebody run, we set up perimeters anyway. Fencing only probably will slow them down. It's according to what type of fence you're talking about putting up. You're talking about putting up a 12-foot fence, yeah, that's gonna stop them pretty much. But a 6-foot fence is gonna just,
Well, I think it's part of the completion of the renovation of the park, so that's why I asked.
so let me say this, how about let me get my guy to do the study on it?
Yeah.
And he will give suggestions. It's nothing that, this is to make the park safe, is what you're saying, right?
That's what we're
So,
talking
yeah,
about.
so
If
he would do
there's an entrance
yeah,
to
he
the
would do
park.
a crime prevention, study on it. It takes about, a month and a half, maybe 2 months for him to get it together and put everything, together, and then I'll have him come present it at the community meeting.
Well, we have a park committee.
Well-
Maybe the park committee.
Yeah, maybe we present it to the park committee, these will be just suggestions along with the city, but I'll team up with, Kenya, and we'll get the study done.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I think that'll be the best route, because if they do decide to go with fencing, he'll be able to suggest what type of fencing.
I thought Ms. Patty had her hand up.
Instead of the fencing, I would like to see y'all post up like y'all do downtown on Main Street in the middle, sometime in the park or near the park.
What we do down on Main Street.
Yeah, no, you know how y'all post
Yeah,
up in the
yeah,
middle?
that's a whole nother region.
Well, I understand that, but I mean, it's still City of Columbia, and
Yeah, so that car is posted up there, but the guy is actually walking it, so I don't know about, I can't tell you I'm not gonna be able to post somebody in the park.
well, what I'm saying is, we don't look for him to be up there all the time, but, he just show up and he parked there, you think about 15 minutes, or 10 minutes, you know what I'm saying?
Right, I got you. So we
We don't have to
that,
be the same
but
time of the
I
day, cause
sit-
you don't wanna be the same time
No, I
of
sit
the
in
day.
that park a lot,
Yeah,
to get out of my building. So I sit in there a lot, but I don't have a marked car, I have a white Tahoe, but criminals know what the police drive.
well, we know that, but what I'm saying is, I hate to use the word intimidation, but it's a form of, letting them know that, the park
It's
being
a form
watched.
of crime prevention, it's
Right,
not
right.
intimidating, it's
Right.
just a form of crime, they're not doing any enforcement, they're just sitting there doing the paperwork.
Right.
Yeah, so we can do that,
Okay.
yeah.
Could I?
Oh,
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to ask a quick question because I'm on that, I guess, to the Nextdoor app that I have on my phone that we get alerts about crimes in our community. And, which is a good thing, but I also wanted to ask, as concerned about those, notices we get about, former sexual offenders that live in our neighborhood. When they move into a neighborhood, are they monitored?
They have to register. If they're not on probation, they're not monitored, but they do have to register to Richland County Sheriff Department.
Okay.
But, there's a public index on SLED's website. You can pull it up, they have to have all their information on it, you can see exactly what house they live in. Every time they move, they gotta
Well, that's what they
notify
put on the
somebody.
alert, they put their address and their picture on that alert.
I don't-
Anybody else gets that?
I do.
I signed up with the through Nextdoor app and I love it because it gives you all the information about crimes tells you what mileage, within what mileage that crime happened, with respect to where you live. And the sex offenders that move into this neighborhood, they put their picture where they live at, and all of that on this thing. I thought everybody was getting that alert.
Yeah, I don't know if everybody.
Because they came through something with Nextdoor app and say, you wanna sign up, and I did, and it's really good.
Just, she was.
Yes, ma'am.
Mention that Duke and Woodridge Avenue, you know,
What's that? Yes. So I think the street division is gonna go take a look at that dip, cause it's a very bad dip. I've already told the officers, if you're going down there, don't go down there speeding, or you go down there like 3 miles an hour, cause you're gonna feel that dip. I don't know what has caused it.
There was a water leak about a year and a half, and I was thinking of calling in too. The city just did a poor job of everyone that paves it. They didn't put enough concrete, let's say, they just.
No,
Okay, so that's why it's saying.
They didn't pay.
So the water division actually doesn't hold it.
Water leak
Okay.
a year or so ago, maybe roughly, yeah.
No, it wasn't a year, it's February this
The water
year, wasn't it?
division comes out, they're just patching it with like asphalt, we want that road paved.
Yeah.
Cause it's more than one dip on Duke, now that I think about it.
But that's a real
If there's
bad
water
deal.
leak under there and it's undermining the road, then they really need to fix the water leak.
Well, I assume the water leak's fixed, but they just didn't fill it in and.
They didn't pack it enough,
Yeah.
for it to last long enough. But it could have been another leak, they could have packed, could have been, I'll get with them about it. I think the street division is looking at it, I'll get with the water
I
department.
just say one quick thing about, Hyatt Park and the fence. And that is that, in my mind, maybe I'm being naive here, but I'm less concerned about, criminals running across the park than I am about some kids playing kickball or something and kicking the ball into Main Street, running out and getting hit by somebody going 50 miles an hour.
I'm assuming that's why they
So-
moved that little baseball,
Yeah.
that little league baseball field on the
But I
top of
think
that
that's
hill.
why, in my mind anyway, that's why we really need a fence along Main Street, just for safety for kids. And we get the other benefit, which would be to maybe impede, people running through the park who shouldn't be, but.
We'll have to move this to the Hyatt Park part of the discussion, but, if y'all have another question for Captain Hicks, can you stick around for 2 more minutes, just see if anybody has any more questions? And answer them off to the side. Thank you so much, Captain Hicks. And thank you for y'all's work with Hyatt Park, because we've been asking about that lately, and, we appreciate y'all, being responsive, when we've had that need come up. Thank you so much. Okay, real quick, one of our guest speakers arrived, should be here in a second. I do wanna jump back real quick to, membership. I already went through your report, but, can you just tell everybody what you applied for in that city grant?
Yeah, so they took our sign on Miller in North Main. I found like a park sign, you know how you go to the park and it's like an information booth rather than like a street sign? Okay, yeah, I applied for that, and then some beautification stuff, pick up after your dog, don't litter, respect your neighbors, so on and so forth. And then, they're not letting anybody apply for food this year, which I thought was odd, but whatever.
Okay.
So, like party supplies, pollinator thing, the spring event we did a few years ago was really successful. And then, holiday stuff, so some outdoor decor and spruce up some of the signs.
How much is this grant worth? That's a lot.
$1,800, not a lot of money.
Fantastic, all right.
Excuse me, but I couldn't hear you very well. I hear you. You must stand up.
Oh, yeah, come on.
Because you have a mask on, it's hard to hear you. I didn't hear you.
Mimi, you used to it.
Come on, Mimi.
Hello, neighbors. I applied for beautification, signage. Most of that stuff we get off Amazon or Uline. Party supplies, and so that's kind of miscellaneous. The spring event for the pollinator garden, holiday event in here, outdoor decorations, lights, stuff like that. We can't do food with the city anymore, so the county covers our food, which we got approved for the last county grant. And then like updating decor, so a wreath for outside, and then we've got a tree in there, some newer lights and things like that. And then we have some stuff from last year as well. So just mostly beautification and outreach is how I I worded the grant.
Did you say that you applied to replace the sign that was stolen?
Yes, but not from a sign shop, because that's so expensive. That would have been most of the grant. It's like from, I don't know if y'all ever been in Riverfront Park, when you walk in, it's like a billboard, or not a billboard, like an information board.
Right.
And it's, you can pin flyers, you can, put like a little, like we could put Hyatt Park neighborhood on there. It's a nice sign, but it's much cheaper because it's only $1,800, and all of the sign stuff went up in the pandemic.
I just wanted to mention, maybe this isn't the right time, but since we have a lot of money in our account, maybe we should use some of that to actually replace the nice sign that we had.
Yeah, I actually agree.
We have to price it. We carry a balance, from my knowledge, of about $3,000, and I wouldn't be surprised if it costs $1,500 to replace that sign. Like, they really went up in
I
the
don't think it
pandemic.
costs that much. I did the vendor grant, or the vendor quote for that current, I mean, it might go up a little bit, but it was only $200.
Okay. Okay. So, if they approve it, it'll just say sign. If they approve it, then we'll have money carved out for that already.
Well, I'm with Betsy, I don't think we need to even apply it, well, I mean, it is free money. When does our Richland County grant come back around?
We just got that money literally like last month, so it won't come back around for another year. I just thought the, billboard would be easier because it's cheaper, and then now the city has all this stuff where, like, if we wanna put a sign down, we've gotta talk to survey and all this stuff, like, I just put the stuff where y'all want the money.
No, ma'am, the stake is already there.
Yeah, we already have the.
Best is in the stake is already there.
So just replacing the actual, like, aluminum sign?
Yes, that's how we replace it.
Okay, well, that might be way cheaper, cause I'm just thinking about, like, the actual postage and everything, I didn't know what they actually stole.
They stole just the sign that was hooked
That's so odd.
to the pole, that's what they stole. So we don't have to replace everything, and we don't have to get permission of them to replace the sign.
Well, and I'll get that quote back, and I'll ask them to update it, see if they can just replace it, because it's already been designed and everything. So I'll just see what a replacement, sign would cost, and we can talk about that in the next meeting and work through what we do about that.
Okay, Charmaine, emailed me today, I can check in with her next week to see if we got approved for it or not, but everything else is rolling smoothly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, that was our membership report. No, we have one of our speakers came, but we're gonna jump through our reports real quick and get that, we're almost done. So, Pat, National Night Out report.
Okay. Well, so far, we are looking good, and the only thing that we're missing is, I need 3 more volunteers. And, I saw like 8 people already to volunteer, they don't know that I really called. We're gonna have, 15 different vendors if all the vendors come out.
Wow.
And, so far we have is a new vendors. People have been calling me to come out to Hyatt Park. And so I thought that was real good. And, most important thing, Seminar Ridge, they're very good participation. We have, 4 volunteers from them, because they are part of the National Night Out with us. And, Matt may or may not be there, he may have an emergency to go out of town. And so therefore, yeah.
My daughter, October 1st.
Okay, so therefore, that's one person that will have to need to be replaced, no, 2. Because they come out.
You can put me down as a volunteer, I'll be there.
But
So does that mean?
You'll be on time.
What time do you need me there?
I need you to get there they're usually there between 5 and 5:15.
Okay.
I never have no question with Matt and Basil.
Okay.
They always stay on time. I was gonna ask, Lyman, because he's the vice president, so he's gonna come out and volunteer this year. Because he's back in the town.
I think that, I will be there.
Teachers coming, he'll be there at 5:15.
So, you said that you
Put it
needed.
on the calendar.
Yeah, you was the person I was gonna say.
You
so therefore we have, whatever we're gonna serve, it's good. The kids, for the children, they're gonna be in the field, and we have a bouncy house for them. Oh, cool. And we're gonna serve them hot dogs out there, and so therefore I got somebody to take care of the kids. Diane Gordon's gonna be taking care of the kids, and so we good.
Okay.
And all of that's been taken care of, but if there's anybody else would like to volunteer, let me know. And so far, Seminar Ridge, like I didn't explain, I informed them that they would be cleaning up.
So can I just clarify, you said that you needed 3 more volunteers, and then you said you'd lost 2 more, so does that mean you need 5 volunteers, or that you need 3?
I got Mona, I got Diane, and I got Lana,
Okay,
and I got you, so that's good.
okay.
And I got 5 more time.
And if you can rope
So we
anybody
good.
else in, go ahead.
So we good. And so that's it, if anybody else wanna volunteer. What does it entail? Well, it entails that sometimes vendors come and they'll bring stuff, I need somebody to monitor that particular table. Okay, and then, also, we have to clean up the gym, we have to make sure we come lovely, we wanna leave it lovely. And, don't worry about the kitchen, I got the kitchen is 10 total. So everybody that's working in the kitchen, we already got that down pat, and they know who they are. And so, we got everything in order. But it's, one thing that we will need, that Matt and Dave will always be taking care of, that's getting ice. And so, if you get me coolers, I could fill up 2 from our ice machine.
And you ain't gotta do that. You don't wanna do that, you go right into the fire station.
We go to the fire department.
Fire department.
And we have from recreation, from Miss J, we have a big crew. And Matt fixed one, Basil fixed one already with the lid. He already fixed the lid, so we have that. And all we need is that big, long cooler.
Yeah, really, we need somebody with a car big enough to take it, so.
That's all we need is one big, long cooler, half of it with water, half of it with something else, but that's been taken care of. And so, just need some guys to get the ice. And that's it, we good.
Good. All right, well, Pat, thank you so much for all your hard work. I know it's like a year-round effort, it's, gonna culminate here.
Miss J.D. stated, and which I agree, we need tape car says this is Hyatt Park.
Okay.
We've only got that one.
We need more than one.
You need multiple, I think I might have a miscellaneous budget line item there.
Okay, so
I
we
can talk
need
about
more
it in the
than
meeting.
one. Okay, we need about 10. Thank you.
Mimi, again, we have a good surplus, so we could probably just paper out neighborhood funds if you wanna get a quote for it, we'll write a check, so.
Thank
Yeah.
you, that's it.
You wanna take that task, I'll make sure.
Yeah, I can do
check
that.
as soon as you need, so. Thank you, Pat, that's a lot of work, and I bet it's gonna be a great event, as usual. All right. Beautification Committee, Janie?
Working every day.
Yeah, I know you are. A quick update on, Janie got the ball rolling on the house on Abingdon. The city does again plan to, notice them to be demolished. The person who was working on the house is trying to fix it up, but it isn't working obviously, so that's back on the list for demolition, so. The one on Summerlee, that's like half broken. It looks like it's had a tornado go through the middle of it. All right. Hyatt Park Committee, I'll give the update to that. We have contacted Kenya Bryant and Tina Herbert, and we're trying to get them, to, agree to a meeting, at a time that's amenable to me as well, and as soon as they respond to my email, we'll get on and make them, get them working, so. We wanna get a big meeting with them, discuss what we need to do with, Hyatt Park. Yeah, Pat?
There's one thing that, did you check in about the Christmas? We're supposed to check out the DOA, they supposed to put those little hooks up so we can have our street decorated.
I don't know if I know what this is. Is this about the tree lighting here on the plaza, or?
No, it's the flags, you know, like every long Main Street, when it gets right to Hyatt area, they stop with the decoration. They said that they didn't put up the little, the hooks or something that's needed, I forgot what
Yeah,
they
y'all
were.
talked about that last time.
And so
Oh,
this
that's
is
the
the
Bring It
third
Back?
year.
Yeah, you remember Mimi, you talked about that?
Is that the pole, the night
Yeah,
pole?
yeah.
I think that might be a Sabrina question, y'all.
I will get an answer for you. I will figure that out.
That's the street department.
Okay, I'll figure out what's going on there, and whether they plan on doing it. If they don't, we'll ask them to. Okay, and same, that's the High Park Committee report as well. I believe this is for our committee reports.
I got one thing.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't get you, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Just, a couple things, we will be having a Halloween carnival, it actually will be on Halloween this year, Thursday, October 31st, from 6 to 8 p.m. Yes, yeah, we can. Also pitch is postponed until November. They ran out of funding, and so they could, so hopefully we can, Christa is working hard to get more funding to pick back up in November. So we will have to, the pitch program will be postponed until November.
It's a little sad to hear, but, maybe we need to do a little fundraiser for them.
Yeah, so that's what she's trying to do, raise money, just to.
They do great work.
Yeah, so she's working hard, that's why she stopped it for September and October, so we can pick back up in November.
And can you repeat the date of that, Halloween party?
31st.
Oh,
Oh, 6 to 8 at the park. We got volunteers if I wanna come out.
Is there a thing?
Yeah, we doing a carnival style. It's a running for something she got going on at the park. So that's Michelle, she's our decorator. So I thought it's gonna be a haunted forest, something. I can't even tell you the name of it, but we do need volunteer. We do need volunteer. We have carnival games. Kitchen lady, I got you. Pat, my kitchen lady, so I don't mess with the kitchen, so put on the schedule, man. Let me see. And also we have city hoops, anybody ages 3 to 5, they got, we pass them around. I got a couple flyers, I can bring more. City hoop, instructional league basketball, Ms. Jen up doing, it'll be at King Park. Registration start now, it's $25. Instructional league going on for basketball. So you have little ones, ages 3 to 8, sign up for city hoops, teach them how to play basketball.
Castle
And
season already.
that's it so far.
All right, thank you. I apologize, I did miss you in the announcements earlier, didn't I? All right, Christa, I forgot about you, but Senator Devine, did you need a few minutes to?
Quickly, but I know y'all trying to be out by 8, but I can do real quick. Hey, good evening, everybody. It's good to see everybody. I'm gonna read real quick, and if there's any questions, I can come back next month. I know y'all got some. So, number one, I wanted to say the state committee on children is actually having a Columbia meeting, which is tomorrow at 9 a.m. at the State House. This is the committee that thinks about, talks about the condition of children in our state. And so we have been going over recently child care, early child care, making sure we know we have a need of early child care in our state. The state actually only funds pre-K for the lowest of people, financial poverty, I guess a level of poverty, 3K, and it's not all day, and then 4K. So we're looking to expand that. So I would just encourage you all, I know it's short notice tomorrow at 9, but if you go to the State House, you can actually give any comments you have. What we're really trying to do is hear from folks who feel like the state needs to put more money in expanding early childhood education. It has been left to the school districts to do that, and quite honestly, it depends on the money that you have in a different area. And so we need to hear public comment on that. So meetings tomorrow at the State House at 9 a.m. It's 9 to 12 currently, but you can go to the State House website and comment on that. I just saw the mayor and we promised to talk. You all may have heard about the city's intention to, build what they call the Hope Center out here in North Columbia off of North Main and Farrell Road at the Crafts Farrell. There really are no real plans. This year, I was able to get the state not to fund, like the state wanted or like the city wanted. And so I just saw the mayor at an event, and he said, hey, when are we gonna sit down and talk about this? So I've opened up to have a conversation with him, but I've also told him he needs to talk to the communities. My biggest concern is that we do need to have a larger place for our unsheltered population. Y'all are noticing, like me, the last 2 or 3 years, it has really grown, and it's huge. I know y'all just talked about it at the park, but when you bring people further out from the city center, and it's not a prison, they don't have to stay there. What happens is you have more transient people walking up and down North Main Street. And so I really need us to really engage in the conversation with the city, and I was hoping I saw a city person here, but we really do need to. Yeah. So we need to have those conversations, because I understand that there is a huge issue and they're concerned about downtown, but we actually have to be concerned about the entire city. And it's not about sheltering people, it is about giving people long-term solutions. So I did promise the mayor I will sit down and talk to him about long-term solutions, but to me that means making sure that we're addressing housing, not temporary shelter, and not taking people out of the city center. I've also committed to work with the county on solutions for Allen S. Glenn. And so I just want y'all to understand that the state understands that that is a county issue, but we are the capital city, we're the capital county, and so there are a lot of people who come to the city because this is where there are a lot of services, and then things happen and they're overcrowding our jail. So I'm working with the county on that, so I wanted to let you all know that. And just real quickly, some of the bills that I've already written to pre-file this year will be a permanent definition for food desert, so we can actually go with what the national definition is. We are included in what would be called a food desert, and so if we can get a definition, then I'm also introducing a companion bill that will give incentives to grocery stores to locate within food deserts. Also, firearm safety storage, to make sure that people have storage facilities for their firearms, loan forgiveness for public employees, expanding the state child tax credit, mental health services for first responders and crisis intervention for first responders, and then making sure that we are looking at dealing with the healthcare system. So the healthcare, I would love to come back and hopefully November or so to talk to you all about that. One of the things that the governor did veto, you may have seen, is a study committee to look at expanding Medicaid. I've talked to Eau Claire Cooperative, or whatever they're called now. Yeah, and so they're giving me some really great data and some numbers, and I have a scheduled meeting with the governor at the end of October. And so I'm going to be presenting to him, particularly 29203 and our health disparities and what expansion of Medicaid would mean to us about access to health care. So if you all have any personal stories, I'm big on giving personal stories, please let me know, because when I meet with him at the end of October, I'm hoping to change his mind on why there is a need. So that's it. If y'all have any questions for me, anytime, give me a call.
Very strong work, Senator. Thank you. Thank you for attending and sharing with us as well. All right, Christa. Turn. I'll let you introduce yourself, although I think everyone's already knows you already. And I want to be clear, Stephen Diaz, I believe your opponent, right?
Yes, he should be on the way, because he was just adding that, so he should be right behind me, unless he's changed his mind.
He said he'd attend, so just want to be fair.
I am Christa Williams. Many of you all may know me. I am a product of public schools. I grew up in Orangeburg County, and I grew up in one of those schools where the budget was not where it needed to be, and I was not properly prepared. If we didn't have a teacher that showed up to class, or something happened, if our teacher was in an accident, that was it. That was it. There's blocks of education that I'm missing, like learning. I had to teach myself how to type on the keyboard without looking, because our teacher during that time when I was assigned to that class, she was in a very bad accident. They had nobody to replace her. So we pretty much sat in class all day twiddling our thumbs with resource officer having fun. And when I got up to Columbia College said, when I took the placement test, you're gonna need to go into some remedial courses. Okay. So I went to schools on the corridor of shame, so I understand the effect that your education, not having proper education, can have on you later on in life. Now, since then, I've gone on and been an educator in both career fields that I've been in, and also have taught at Columbia College as an adjunct professor. So I guess my experiences of not being properly prepared for college, because I graduated number 3 in my high school, but then when I got to Columbia College, it didn't translate into where a South Carolina graduate needed to be for college. So with our school board, we have to look at where we are now. And currently there was a $409 million budget. I think it was expanded after some teacher pay went into it, but $409 million budget. So when we have to ask ourselves, who do we have on school board? And are these individuals really serving our community? It's a lot of money at stake. That's why you have a number of politicians trying to hold down their seats that have systems in place, and I have a handout that I've given you, and I'll be in front of county council tomorrow at 6 p.m. talking about that particular system. So, because they want to remain in place to stay in charge of that budget. And I'm not just making this stuff up. This is what they have been doing. If you look at the history of sending contracts over, if you look at the history of awarding nonprofits money where family members are sitting on the boards. Okay, we had a situation where there was a commissioner who was sending $550,000 to a nonprofit where his wife sat on the board for 3 years. That's $1.6 million. But then the same individuals will get up in your community meeting and say they're gonna do something about a food desert. If you go into South Carolina Public Reporting, look at their campaign reports. They've already raised enough money in one election cycle to start 2 grocery stores the size of mine. I took out a loan on my house to open up that store and almost lost my home. How many politicians are actually doing something for real for the community? I mean, it's okay to have people to get up in front of us that look nice, that dress nice, but we have to look at the reality of where our schools are. C.A. Johnson has a grade 30. Eau Claire has a grade 38. These are the scores that are on the state education website. I'm not making this stuff up. This is in black and white. It's real. So when you have a commissioner that has been on school board for 16 years, and there is not any results in the community, I've worked in Department of Corrections. I've seen a lot of the young people in and out of prison, making the judicial system rich, making the lawyers rich. Why are these young kids in high school, 9th through 12th grade, not learning a trade? There's a rumor going around, I want to shut down C.A. Johnson all because I said we should offer trades at the school to educate our young people. Offering trades and shutting down the school is 2 separate things. But any type of tactic or propaganda will be used to prevent someone who really cares for the community. As I said, I took out a loan on my house to open a grocery store. We have politicians sitting right in this room. Because I'm not going to talk behind anybody's back. I'm going to tell everybody the truth. We have them sitting in this room that have raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. And what have they done in the community? I'm not talking about a fish or chicken fry. I'm talking about ensuring that our kids have what they need. If every young person that's graduating from high school in those areas that struggle, 29203, 29204, during the summer, what can they do? They can go and do an internship with the city or the county or some of these other companies that struggle. We have older people, their grandparents in the communities, that they have younger men in their families that don't know how to do roofing, that don't know how to hang a door, that don't know how to lay bricks. When is this gonna change? So this is my 4th run for office, and I'm not gonna stop running. I refuse to because I care. It takes sometimes the public a while to see things. I've been through military training. I've been in one of the toughest professions working in corrections. I've been up against all men as the only woman. My last assignment was an officer candidate instructor. I was the only female in the battalion, only. I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna stay out here. I don't care how long it takes me to get in office, because I care about the community. And no dollar should be wasted. All these executive sessions, no. You all should know where your money is going. Nobody's going in a back room to discuss something. Whatever is going on with that budget, it should be in the newsletter, it should be in the email, it should be sent to your house, whatever, on their website. It's no secret. So don't let anybody tell you, oh, something's in executive session, so we can't discuss it. No, this is your tax dollars, your money. I mean, they talked about my business on the news, but I gave everything to try to do something in the community. And you have people that have been in office for over 20 years, 16 years. They had nothing but enrich themselves. Look at their campaign reports and who they're paying out. We need people who are in the community that are in elected positions that have servant leadership. Servant leadership. And I'm not saying this stuff today to be mean or to attack anybody, but I'm wanting the community to know what's going on. And every time I run, I'm gonna tell you all the truth. I'm gonna give you the message that you need to know, so that you all can start putting this stuff together and start making the best decisions for your communities. I'm Christa Williams, and I'm running for the Richland School District 1 Seat 2 position. Are there any questions?
Which ones are at large? Some are at large and some
Yes. So
3 out of 5, something like that.
yes, so Mr. Moore, I think he came August. Mr. Moore is at large, and then it's Ms. Brown.
I can answer the question for you. So there are 2 seats at large. Currently, there are Angela Hyber, who's an incumbent, Tamika Myers, who's an incumbent, Richard Moore, Angela Brown, and John Black. Those 5.
Yeah, so I'm running against, for my seat, it's seat 2, it's Jamie Devine, myself, we have Stephen Diaz, and Miss Lee Carroll back there. So it's 4 of us, we're running for the seat 2 position. So you got 2 at-large seats that are gonna pop up, and then you have a seat 2 position, and I'm running for the seat 2 position. Ty, did you all get the flyer that the Wiley Kennedy Foundation, because it has like everybody's picture on it, I think? Okay, so I'll find it in my email, and then I email it to you so you can send it out to the community.
Share that on our Facebook page.
So Christa, I have a question, I guess. And that is, you've raised a lot of concerns about campaign finance and some things having to do with that. I'd really like to hear more about what you propose to do as a school board member to improve the schools.
Okay.
What can you say about that?
So the reason that I let people know what is going on, because there is a system in place that prevents new people from getting in. So it's very important, and I'm an educator at heart, and so it's almost like the light bulb has to go off before we can start progressing and moving forward. So someone asked a question at another meeting, to your point, and I will go into that. Why don't we have more teachers, and principals, retired principals, and retired administrators that run for office? Well, y'all, this is my forefront. So I have had a chance to see what is going on behind the scenes. And I'm just gonna be honest with you, a lot of those people, a lot of them are afraid to run. I've taught with many people. I'm not a public school teacher, but I have experience teaching in other areas. But I've asked people, I've talked to people, they are afraid to run. They're like, well, you're out there, this is your 4th time, you're running against that machine, girl. I don't have time for that. And so a lot of times we don't get the people that we really need and that are really skilled in those areas, because we have to understand that there's a system at play that keep certain people in office. I talked about fiscal management, so we're gonna keep going. Teacher retention, a lot of the areas work together from school board all the way up to the state house. If we have politicians that are investing in our communities, we're able to build better families. Our children feel more supported. They're more taken care of. The teachers have a better time in the classroom. And so if I'm elected on the school board, I want to ensure that I'm working with representatives in every branch of government to ensure our communities are taken care of. Because I ran for city and county council. If our communities are thriving, a lot of our schools will thrive. If our children are thriving, our community, it works hand in hand. Also, ensuring that our teachers have proper mentorship, proper training, that teachers feel supported, that we're using more of the budget to promote, better classroom management, and that we're using more of the budget so that teachers are not spending class time trying to raise money for school supplies. I mean, there are a number of things that we can do to promote the morale in the schools. I could come today and just talk about all of those things that we know need to happen, or just kind of get you to thinking that these are some reasons why we really need to get out and vote, and we really need to evaluate our choices. Ensuring our schools are gateways to success and not pipelines to prison. I work in the prison system. I want to see our young people stop feeding that corporate system. I want to see our young people not feeding the judicial system, not feeding the prison system. The canteen system in the prisons is a multi-million-dollar business. Think about it. When these young people are in prison, who's paying for that? A lot of times they're family members that are on fixed income. So they got us all the way around. We're talking about Medicare and getting help for seniors. And then our young people in our family are acting up, and we're trying to take care of them in prison. Our checks going right back to the prison. Land going up, houses going up, trying to get bonds for these kids. We have to invest in our communities, and if I'm elected, I'm gonna be committed to that because I've seen both sides, behind the wall and outside. And you've got to have upstanding people that care about the community and not their pockets. Because they're just gonna say stuff to smooth you and just to say they said something. They're not gonna tell you the facts all the way down to the root causes. They're not gonna do that. Because those types of politicians are already indebted to the wealthy corporate class. They're not gonna come in here and be honest with you. Look at their campaign reports. If I'm elected on the school board, trades, that's a big part of what I see is missing. A lot of our seniors, their roofs are falling in, and we have a hard time getting politicians that just request the money from the State House to try to fix some of these issues. They'll go put $20 million in the River District, but not go to Windermere and some of these other areas and make sure that the homes are taken care of with some of these people that have fixed incomes. This is why this stuff is happening. We have politicians that are indebted to other wealthier groups and not to the community. So I stay out here and I run because I'm like, you know what? One of these days that light bulb is gonna go off and they're gonna say, you know what? Ms. Williams was telling us this the whole time. Everything is not about a win immediately. I got probably about 40 or 50 more years in God's spare my life. I'm gonna be here because I care. So if I'm elected on the school board, I care. I care about the community. It's not about a dollar bill. Yes, you need money to live, but at the end of the day, our communities have been suffering for too long, for no reason at all. For no reason. Any other questions for me? And I did talk about executive session. If I'm elected, all of that behind the scenes stuff, no. You all deserve to know what is going on.
Thank you, Christa. Appreciate that. All right, that's our
time.
All right, as I said, Mr. Diaz didn't show tonight, so we'll invite him back. And any of our other candidates that would like to speak, just let me know. In a future meeting, we'll make time for you. And so we're already well past 8, so real quick, open floor. Nothing we'll discuss tonight, anything I want to put on the agenda for next month maybe, since we're already over our time. Any issues open floor? Great, everything's perfect, we're good. All right, I'll go ahead and say we're adjourned, and I'll see y'all, at, Treats, No Tricks, National Night Out, and our porch party. Y'all